Oh, that one tastes good. How does that happen? Celtics are the best team in the NBA. Lakers don't know up from down. No LeBron, no Anthony Davis tonight. But they win. Hey, what's up? 10:30 on Friday. We got a little 5:40 update here before I crash into bed. Another long day. I'm not going to go into it. A little bit of work on this thing today. So these seats are out of a E38 750 and they're fully refurbished. The guy in Eastern Europe did a wonderful job on the leather itself. Nice and matte, quality grain leather. Nice piping here to match the original E38 seats. Where he fell short were these back panels. And since these are adjustable in the center of the backrest, the comfort seats, there's two. There's the upper piece, which is fairly small, and the lower piece with the mat pocket. Within a few months of installing these refurbished seats, I noticed that the vinyl that he used to glue over the back of the seat, it wraps around the little collar that comes over here like this, was starting to peel off. And at first I thought, oh, it's coming loose, and I pressed it into place, and it seemed to stay for a few weeks, but that's not been the case moving forwards. So I talked to my interior guy who does all the Alcantara work and leather work for E39 Source, and he said, yeah, I used vinyl on top of plastic. You can't do that. It won't bond. You've got to use leather. He should have used what he used here on the rest of the seat on the back, and he didn't for cost savings. So I've kind of been putting off, taking these off. These rear panels are kind of difficult to install. You have to know exactly which way you push this way and pull the bottom first and then rotate up and flip to the right. You know, it's all these specific instructions. So finally, I took the time to look up the E38 750IL Comfort Luxury Electric Sport Seats. That's what they're called. And figure out how those things come off. I got them off. They're in the trunk. They'll go down to the leather specialist tomorrow. He's going to wrap them in the same leather that the seats are done out of. And the guy also in Europe cut them too short, so there wasn't enough material wrapping around. So it was like that. So it just needs to be done right. So that's going to happen tomorrow. While they're off, I took on project number 2, which are these plastic trims, which BMW calls seat garnishes. Get that. My idea of a garnish is a lime wedge or something along that vein, but no, this is a seat garnish. So the ones that were on these seats were painted, refinished. I don't know what process was done to them, but they were really rough. It felt like garage floor cement. And this side was okay. It was installed right. It was flush. The driver's seat was cracked right here, and that was causing this to sit up a little bit. And it was just bugging me. I can't see it, but anybody in the back, that's what they're looking straight into. So I bought these pieces brand new from BMW, manufactured in 2019. I can't believe they're still making these. They must be on newer cars. But I bought these, they're like 45 bucks a piece, which is silly for a little piece of plastic. But I bought those probably 6 or 8 months ago now. They had to come from Germany. They showed up. I attempted to pop the old ones off. I couldn't figure it out, so I just gave up on it. Fast forward now, I've got the seat partially open, so I'm thinking, well, now's the time to figure that out. So I was able to do that. I used a plastic non-marring pry tool to jam in between the leather and the trim and just pry really hard, and you think, okay, something's going to break. I'm going to tear the leather, and then pop, they come out. These pieces sandwich the leather. There's another plastic piece below the leather that, you know, there's a little collar around the headrest post here, and they snap together, and there's like little ribs in this upper piece, so it goes click, click, click until it's tight. The problem is you can't just line this new piece up once you've gotten the old one off and push it. It won't go in. There's nothing to hold the bottom. And you can't reach up in here. This is all foam. There's electrical cables, motors, hoses, metal seat form. There's all sorts of stuff in there. The key is to take a hook tool, like a pick, a bigger one that looks like this, put it through the hole, support the bottom of the base, and then snap them together and work around like 4 stops at 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock, and then push them together until they click nice and tight. So finally that is done. We've solved that issue with these seats. Issue number 2, as I mentioned, will be solved tomorrow. I'll be taking all 4 panels of the backrests down to the upholstery shop to be rewrapped in leather that matches this, cut to the proper size, and using a proper adhesive. Additionally, today I downloaded a full DME read out of this car. I'm going to increase the idle RPM by 100. I hear that the M62 alternators fail fairly frequently because the idle RPM is too low. And if you're sitting there idling with lights, air conditioning, electric fan, things like that on, it's just not enough RPM for the alternator to efficiently power those systems. So I'm going to do 100 RPM increase, which should also make the first gear standstill lift off a little bit more smooth too. And that's something that I struggle with in this, is I'm used to the M5, even daily driving this for a year. I'm just kind of tuned to the M5, and every once in a while it feels like I bog this down and I feel the flywheel chattering a little bit. So I think that'll be a good reliability, long-term kind of care for the car type thing, and maybe make it a little bit easier to drive. I made mac and cheese for dinner tonight. That was delicious. I've just eaten that. It's time for bed now, 10:30. Rainy day in San Diego. We got probably 3/4 of an inch of rain today. It was like 58 degrees, great inside day. I got stuff posted online. We're working on the timing chain car. We did front control arms ×4 in an N6205 E53 X5. And that owner has an E39 M5 as well. Sounds like he wants to come in for an MPI, and then he's in the process of selling the X5. And I talked to that prospective owner today and gave some info on the car. And I do believe he wants to come in for a PPI. So we've got lots of stuff lined up there. I gotta go lay down and sleep. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll talk then. Good night.